Hello and welcome to Number by Color. My name is Todd, and today I hope you brought your nice shoes because we're going for a bit of a walk. 5 months ago, I made a video called The New PlayStation Store is Bad, where I talked about how the redesigned storefront was less user-friendly and not as helpful for game discovery. This video is not directly related to that, but it is kind of a companion piece or a complement. Instead, what I want to talk about today is how Sony and PlayStation have, in some ways, been making it harder for customers to buy games, starting even before the redesigned store. So just to make sure we're all on the same page here, I'm going to give you a brief history lesson, so stick with me. PlayStation started something called the PlayStation blog back in 2007 as a means of consolidating any information they want to share about their games and services. It's the primary source of news, including information about new games, announcing new hardware, state of play events, new monthly PlayStation Plus games, and so on. I personally have found it very useful in finding new games, reading updates on games I'm interested in, and learning about new services. But the primary articles of interest to me, even more than new game announcements, came in the form of a weekly blog post called The Drop. This post typically happened at the end of a week, and it detailed all the new games releasing on the store the following week. Usually it had a screenshot and a bad description, but it was still enough to give you an idea of whether or not you might be interested in the game, and you could then go to the store to look up more information, or maybe YouTube to watch a trailer. For a long time, The Drop was an essential component to my engagement with the platform. What I mean by this is that I used it every single week to see what was coming out. Searching new releases on the PlayStation Store itself has never been a convenient way to find new releases because it usually includes DLC, pre-orders, and other superfluous things like that, so The Drop really helped with discovery. And as I showed in my video about the PlayStation Store, it is still difficult to navigate. But over time, it started to feel like Sony didn't care as much about The Drop, and that brings us to today, the specific reason that I'm making this video, the impetus for this rant or discussion. Let's go over to the website and see what I'm talking about. So here we are on the PlayStation blog. This is the end of March 2021. This is what it looks like. And looking at the blog now just gives you a general idea of what kind of post they put on here. Here's the share of the week, changing seasons. If you scroll down a little bit, you got some trending stories, and then the latest posts. Each post is typically about a game. It's written usually by a community manager or a director or somebody involved with the game, not usually somebody by Sony, unless it is a Sony related post. So now you have a general idea of what the blog is. Let's go back in time and see one of the posts detailing new games coming out to the platform. This is a post from April 30th, 2013. It's called PlayStation Store Update. This is before it was branded as The Drop, but it's still the same thing. As you can see here, some of these thumbnails that they used, I don't think they're hosted anymore on whatever server they host them, but they would have a screenshot of the game. But as you can see, PlayStation 3 full games, and then there's just a list of games: Ninja Gaiden Sigma 2, Deadly Premonition, Far Cry 3, Poker Night 2, Zombie Tycoon, etc., etc., PS Vita. So you can get an idea of that they posted a list, a broken down list. This actually has a file size. That's pretty interesting that they included that. They don't do that. I mean, they don't do that anymore for sure, but that is that's actually pretty useful. I don't even remember them doing that, but yeah, that's pretty cool. So they posted a list of games broken out by platform: PS2 classics, PSP, PlayStation Store highlights, and this is just some other additions and things that were happening in the PlayStation Plus lineup for that specific month. So this is what it looked like way back in the day, 8 years ago. Now let's take a look at what it looked like in the sort of heyday of The Drop period. It's a similar thing. It's pretty much the same, but you can see they kind of branded it as The Drop. They have bigger images for each of the games now. Atomic crops. It tells you which platform, when it's releasing, if it's releasing digital and physical, and that kind of thing. And here is a blurb about the game. You can see they took away the rating and the file size that we saw on the previous one from 2013. So this is from when is this? This is from May 22nd, 2020. So this was as recent as a little bit under a year ago. So this is how it was: Bug Fables, digital, May 28th, etc., etc. You can see this is just kind of how it is. But this gives you an idea. I mean, based on the image and the short little description, you can get an idea of what you like about these. And it has a link to the PlayStation Store for this game, so you can go check out the game on the store. It's pretty useful. So this is what it was at the end of May in 2020. Now let's take a look at 1 month later, June 19th, 2020. This is what the drop has become. It's called PlayStation Store New Games Launching Next Week, which is a bit of a mouthful. Why not still call it the drop? This is a time in the blog history where they were trying to consolidate America and Europe and other country blog posts, because I think there was a different version of the PlayStation blog for each country, and they were trying to consolidate that into just one spot. So they were combining game releases, and not all games released in each country at the same time, so they were having trouble figuring out the format for that. But let's take a look at this. So as I said, this is June 19th, 2020, new games launching next week on the PlayStation Store. So remember what it was that we just looked at, the post from 2013 and then the post from 2020 in May. This is what it became, just a static list of games, the name, the platform, and when they're releasing and in which country. Now, the thing I want you to notice here, there are two things. First of all, the description is gone, which is fine. The description never usually helps determine whether or not a game is interesting, because I don't know who writes the descriptions of the games, but usually they're not good. So we can get rid of that, fine. We don't have a thumbnail, so we don't know anything about what kind of game it is based on a thumbnail, which usually, I mean, sometimes you don't really know anyway based on a thumbnail, but it still is helpful to get an idea, a visual idea of what a game is. Maybe you recognize it from somewhere else based on the thumbnail. But the thing is, we don't even have a link to the PlayStation Store for any of these games. So now we are having to go outside of the blog and manually search for these games wherever we want. And yes, I did say before that you could go outside of the blog and search on YouTube, but this doesn't even give you enough information to know if you want to spend the time doing that. Do you want to go and look up Covert? Look, Covert on PS4. What is that? What does that even mean? Coaster on PS4. Is that roller coaster? Are you a drink coaster? Bounty battle? Assetto Corsa Competizione? What is this? It seems like they're just kind of, I don't know, they're like neutering this really useful thing on their own blog. This was a service they provided as far back as 2013, probably even before that. I mean, that obviously that 2013 post wasn't the first one. I had to actually go back manually and search that far back. So I'm sure that's not even the first one. But you can see here, they were even saying, no, this post will be taking a break for a few weeks. See you again soon. And that's what I want to talk about now, is because as far as I can tell, this is the last drop that ever happened on the PlayStation blog a year ago, June 19th, 2020. Maybe there's one for the next couple weeks after this. This was the most recent one I could find just by searching. They stopped doing this at some time last year, and it was at that point where it seems like they stopped caring about trying to get people interested in the games coming out on their platform. And this is what I wanted to talk about. It seems like there's been a shift in PlayStation's marketing from their own blog to YouTube and Twitter, which, by the way, YouTube and Twitter are fine to promote your things, but this is something that is really important. I feel like it's really important. Let's go back and take a look at the May 2020 drop. We have something here. I can click a link and look at Atomic Crops. Bam, I'm on the store. I can look at Atomic Crops and see that it's $14.99. I can add it to my cart, etc., etc. With this new format that they started doing for a few weeks or a few months, it's just a list. I'm gonna have to take these, copy the name or remember the name, go to Google or YouTube or the PlayStation Store itself and look for it. That is really inconvenient. I feel like that hinders people's desire to go out and search for this. And in fact, I'm not alone in this, because if you scroll down to the comments, pretty much everybody on every post that is like this talks about how they want it to go back to the old way. There is really no excuse. See, look, so much bad feedback the last week, but no changes. This used to be my fave post of the week. Now might as well get this news from another website. This is what I'm talking about. A lot of the updates, even the new updates to the PlayStation Store, which I will touch on in a second, These are pushing people away from Sony's platform, which is the opposite of what they want. And speaking of the updates to the PlayStation Store that happened in October, as you can see on this Atomicrops page, there are still no trailers or screenshots for a game. I still have no additional information. I'm getting upset about this because it's frustrating that I want to come on here and see what games to buy, but it's not giving me any information. I am not gonna buy a game just based on the description. I need something more about it. I need to see it. This piece of artwork is not enough for me. It says Atomicrops with a mutated crop. No. And now we're getting closer to the actual reason I'm making this video. It's because I almost missed a new game that came out. And yeah, it's kind of dumb. I probably eventually would have found it anyway, but a new game came out on the PlayStation Store a few days ago. I knew about it from about a month ago. I saw a trailer and thought this looked really cool, but I didn't know anything about it or when it would release or anything like that. It came out a few days ago. It totally missed me by. I just happened to find out that it came out, and that's the only reason I know that it did. But let's take a look at why this is frustrating to me. So this game is called Kays and the Wild Masks, and as you can see on the PlayStation Store, it released on March 26th. Today is March 28th when I'm filming this. March 26th. Okay, let's go to the new games on the PlayStation Store. I'm looking at new games that released. You can see Mortal Kombat 11, Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege, etc., etc. All these. Look, it's not even on this first page. And you want to see something really dumb? I click on Mortal Kombat 11. We come here. Look, Mortal Kombat 11 and Injustice 2 Legendary Edition bundle. When did this release? Oh, March 16th. Okay, well that's weird. This game came out March 26th. So why is Mortal Kombat the first thing and not a game that came out 2 days ago? All right, whatever. Let me try Monster Energy Supercross 4. Special edition. Oh, that's cool. When did this come out? Oh, March 8th? This is even before in Mortal Kombat 11. Okay, whatever. Let's continue on. Oh, Tomb Raider Definitive Survivor whatever trilogy. Okay, when did this come out? That's fine. March 18th again. So why is this game that came out on March 26th the one that's not even on this first page? It's on the second page, and it's not even the first one on the second page. You know what is? Overcooked, Root Film. Overcooked isn't even a new game. I know this is a new version for the PlayStation 5 and the PS4, but seriously, why are they putting games that are newer not on the front of the list? It doesn't make any sense to me. Doesn't that seem counterproductive? And here's the thing, the reason I found out that this game is out already is because I saw a trailer, a launch trailer on YouTube. I just happened to come across the launch trailer, and it was from PlayStation's account, which again, to be fair, they post a lot of trailers and information on their YouTube account, but this is not the primary source that I want. I don't subscribe to their YouTube channel because they put out so many videos that even if I was subscribed, I would probably miss a lot of them anyway. You can see here, Kay's launch trailer 1 day ago. That's the one I watched, really cool. Other than that, look, all of these videos have been released in the past 1 or 2 days. This is so many. This is way overload. This is why I need a distilled location of just a list of games with a little bit of information about each to see if I'm interested. The first trailer for Kays came out. Let's see. Let's scroll back and see if I can find the first trailer. I believe it was about a month ago, but let's see how far back I have to go to find that trailer. Here it is right here. There was a story trailer 3 weeks ago. There might have been a blog post. I don't exactly remember. I might have come here from Twitter, but I saw this trailer 3 weeks ago. It's 1 minute long. I watched it. I thought, that's interesting. I don't think there was a release date in here, but now I just happened to see a launch trailer, and now I know, wow, it's there. I don't want to have to rely on YouTube's algorithm to know whether or not a game that I'm interested in has come out. If I forget about this game, there's so many games that come out, by the way. I don't remember everything. I kind of leave it to Sony to show me what I want to buy. Now, there's one redeeming thing I can say about this. Sony has finally, within the last couple weeks, re-implemented a wishlist feature for the PlayStation Store. This is First of all, they removed the wish list when they redesigned the store, and they got rid of everything that was on your wish list previously, which is kind of stupid. They should have just removed any of the games that are no longer on the store from the wish list and kept the other ones, like for PS4, but I digress. They added a wish list feature back in, so now I don't have to worry about this happening again. I can just come to the store and put it in my wish list, forget about it, and then come to the wish list and look at everything I had wish listed. But just in general, this is really frustrating. I almost missed this, and yeah, I know it's not a big deal. It's just a video game. I probably would have eventually seen it anyway in the store, but if I'm really interested in a game and I happen to forget what it's called or when it's coming out, I don't want to have to go to another website. I don't want to go to Game Informer. I don't want to go to GameStop. I can do that, or GameSpot. Sorry, I can do that. I mean, I'm not criticizing people or those websites that have that. It's really good to distill all that information. I'm just saying that Sony used to do this for us. They used to provide this service, and it seems more and more lately that they are specifically trying to be less user-friendly, less customer-friendly. They used to give us all this information. Look at this. We have file sizes. That's crazy. It's so long ago that they're telling us how big a game is. That would be huge now. If we could know beforehand how big a game is going to be on our console, especially with PlayStation 5, where we have much more limited capacity, it would be so useful to know this kind of information, but we don't. We know nothing. Anyway, I've been ranting for a long time. This is probably going to be a long video. I'm sorry about that. Thank you for coming along with me. If you came along, this is really frustrating. I wanted to make a follow-up to the PlayStation Store bad redesign, but they haven't fixed it enough to warrant me going through and doing anything. They've made some good changes, but it's not enough to make it actually a good store. So we're still waiting on that front. Maybe I'll do something in the future if it ever changes. But for now, thank you for watching. Like this video if you liked it. I know it's kind of a rant. I don't do these too much, but when it comes across and I just get so frustrated about some things, I just feel like I need to bring it up because I can't be the only one experiencing this, especially with the drop. We saw those comments on the most recent one talking about how much they missed the drop. Anyway, I miss it too. I miss it a lot. Sony, please, if you're watching this, bring back the drop. I need the drop. I want to know what games are coming out on your platform so I can buy them and give you money, all right? Stop making it hard. You're like gatekeeping yourself in a way, all right? Stop it. Just stop it. Put it back how it was. It was fine. It was good how it was. It's not. It's not good anymore. Fix it, please. Thank you for watching the video. Like it if you liked it. Subscribe if you want to see more from me, and I'll be back soon with probably less of a rant video. But until then, keep playing some games, and I'll see you later.